Hi there, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Gwen from the Dr. Gwen International Inc. and host of the iTunes show, the Dr. Gwen Podcast Show. Now, today I'm coming to you a little bit earlier simply because there is another engagement for 3 p.m. today, but I know that some of you will be watching this a little later at the appropriate time, maybe 3 o'clock or whenever you can, because it will be here. And it will also be on my blog page. So how are you today? This bright morning. You can see the rays of the sun coming in my window, just beaming in, and it's just a completely beautiful day. Now, I want to continue our conversation today about businesses and setting up a solid foundation so you can have a business that thrives instead of striving. As you know, there are many businesses that fail year after year after year. And I can't help but think that there were some missing elements in the foundation of those businesses that caused them to sink. Either they weren't clear on what they were about, or they weren't clear simply about the know-how of how to get the business going. And last week we talked about that ACT breakthrough model, which the A stands for awareness, C for creation, and T for transformation. And we talked about how important it is for you to be completely aware of not just who you are, but really also clear about your business. You must be able to love what you do and understand that in a good way. The other thing is, you remember we talked about self, we talked about environment, and we talked about others. And others, I'll just say people. And those 3 themes will carry over throughout the series that I'll be talking about: self, environment, and people. Now, we also said that it's really important for you to be clear about who you are going to serve. We didn't quite get into that a little bit, but we talked about the clarity of knowing what you want to do as a business, and the how part is the skill part, which will be addressed at some other time. Now, once you've figured out, maybe you did the homework, maybe you download the page, the Magic Money Matrix from passionstoearnings.com, and you've worked through the exercise to figure out exactly what your business is about. Like, what do you want to do for a business? The next important phase for you is to really clarify what are the products that you're going to offer and who are you going to serve. Now, I think this is where many people put the cart before the horse, because they go ahead and start creating products without even knowing who they are going to serve. The most important thing for you is to figure out who the people are. So once again, we're still in that matrix of self, environment, and people. Who are the people that you're going to serve? It's really important for you to identify really clearly who they are. We talk about demographics, we talk about psychographics, we talk about behavior. And in terms of businesses, if you're going to be serving businesses, we talk about firmographics. And the firmographics is that similar component as demographic is to the individual. You have to know what the business is about, you know, who they're serving and all of that. Now, with demographics, that covers their ages, their marital status, income, all of that good stuff. And you may be thinking, why is it important for me to know this? Well, you have to be able to know exactly who your clientele are so that you know how to serve them and how to reach them. Because business is also a part of the messages that you put out. And you can put out messages to attract people, and nobody comes because it doesn't hit a nerve, so to speak, with them. It doesn't resonate with them. So you have to find out these things about your people so that you know exactly who you want to serve. For example, millennials have different needs than Generation Y, than baby boomers, than all of the other groups of ages of people that we have come to identify people by. They completely have different needs. So you have to know exactly who you're going to serve. Now, if you don't know this, you can be wandering around for a very long time. So it takes some digging. First, what you need to do is to write down a good description of who you feel these people are that you want to serve. What are the characteristics? Maybe you don't want to serve anybody who's a whiner, somebody who complains a lot, somebody who's mean and exacting. You probably don't want that. You also may want to serve a certain demographic of people who can afford your services or who have a particular need that you feel you can hone into. Remember this one thing though, that business is set up to earn income. So if you want to do something that's charitable, then you may want to serve through a non-profit organization where you're open to getting grants and other kinds of aids to help you to serve people who are less fortunate. If you're setting up a business, however, business is for earning profits. And realistically, you will not be able to serve some people who cannot afford your service if you are setting up a business. So that's where you might need to decide whether you want to do a nonprofit business or a for-profit business. And identify who these people are. Find out who they are. Find out what their needs are. Find out what their lifestyle is. What are they smokers? Are they drinkers? Do they go to parties? Do they go to classical shows? Where do they go? Where do they hang out? Because when you know this, you're able to table your conversation to meet their needs and their interests. Too many people are running off just wanting to serve everybody, and it really does not work that way. So you have to know who they are. Next thing I invite you to do is to create a vision. Now, I'm giving you a general overview of these things. There are more detailed stuff like this in my course that I am actually designing to help you work through step by step all of these processes with screenshots, very clear steps on how you're going to get from point A to point Z and everything in between. You know, as I've said, I've seen some course content and they've left out this major part. You know, they show you how to do certain things. Some of them don't. They just talk to you about it and you're supposed to fill the gaps in. But the one thing that I see that's consistently missing is showing people exactly how do you go out and do that research to find the people. So that the course will cover. But for here and for now, I'm giving you a general description. You can Google and search for demographics. So if you've identified your clientele to be women between the ages of 44 to maybe 60 as an example, then you can go out and search. Maybe it's single moms, maybe it's professional women. Search about the demographic needs of people who are in that description base. You know, what are their needs? What is the research saying about them? So go out and search. And generally, you want to start with a conversation on your end alone. This is another thing that I see people do. They sit down and they write up a description of who this ideal client is based on their personal experience. Well, I tell you what, that does not work that way because you are not representative of everyone else. You could be a really good example of what their needs are, but you're not representative of them. So you will need to go out and find other people who fit that description that you want to serve and ask them questions. Send them surveys, send them information so that they can give you feedback on what their needs are. Then you use that data to create the product or the service that you want, and so that will mean that you will have to tailor your business. Because if you come into business thinking, well, you've got a fixed model and nothing is going to change it, you will be in for a really large surprise. Because I think that's why some businesses even go out of business. They're rigid. You will have to be tweaking your business as you go. The face of your business may change. The face of your products may change because people change. And if you're not doing the research, you're going to be left behind. What I'm thinking about right now is Kodak. The picture, remember when we used to take those pictures and run them off to the store to get them developed? And they didn't move with the flow. And now it's digital photography that has really taken over the scene. And now getting your pictures developed is an antique thing. It's out. So you've got to tweak your business, and don't worry about it. Just tweak it as you go. Ideas will come to you. Tweak it as you go. Your market, your target market may change. Tweak it as you go. I'm continuously tweaking the words on my website, tweaking the words on my Facebook page, so that as I have new insight and as new research comes to me, I'm able to put out this new content. Then I want you to write a vision. So we're going back to self now. We're leaving people. Write a vision of what you want to see happen when you serve these people. So your vision is going to be, when I deliver my product and service, what I want to see is all women being fully self-sufficient and standing on their own feet, as an example. Whatever your service is, you tweak it for that. Maybe you're giving a beauty product and you want to see all women beautiful and just feeling their best self. What is your vision? Your vision is looking way down the line and seeing what the end result will be when they have used your products and your service. Write it down. It's really important, because when we're talking about business, a lot of times people are just clueless. They're in la land, completely clueless, and they're not making any headway because they don't have a plan. So write down your vision and continue to tweak that. We talk about to whom you'll deliver the service. So the next thing is, as far as the environment go, we talked about self, you. Well, let's not go to environment yet. Let's talk a little bit more about self. Now you've got to create yourself to be that business owner you are intending to be. So you're going to recreate yourself. You look ahead in your mind's eye and you see, who do you want to become? You have to create that person mentally first. And then once you create that person, you live into it. It's like casting a vision of your own personal life and living into it, which means that if you used to be a potato couch and sit on the couch watching TV every day, now if you want a business, you know it's not going to be successful if you do it that way. You're going to have to get up and do some things, right? Schedule some things, make some things happen, and keep track of it. Maybe you have to change up your environment a little bit so that it can support you in getting the goals that you want to achieve, right? So self, environment, and people, all important in that creation phase of the ACT model, because now you're creating. Those goals have to be clear. Those goals have to be written down. They are not theoretical goals. And those goals have to have strategies behind them so that you can wake up every morning knowing exactly what you need to do to get to the goals that you want to get to. Now, this is what I help my clients with. Among many other things, of course, their marketing and getting the right content and information out there. And last week, I gave you a download, and I'm going to offer it again. It is going to be on the blog page. So when this blog is up later this week, you can look for the link, and it's going to say you can download the free guide here. It's going to be a PDF version of a guide that will walk you through some questions that you need to ask when you're setting up your ideal client. And so you can write that in and get your conversation going, because you have to know what to say to those clients to get them to pay attention to you. Okay? So I believe that I have covered everything for today in the creation phase. So I just really want to revise real quickly what we talked about. We talked about you creating you, self, your mindset. Didn't talk about that, but that's, well, yes, we did. We talked about casting the vision for you and what you want to be, who you want to be, who you want to become. Cast that vision for yourself and step into it. It means that you're going to change some stuff about what you're doing right now because you want different results, and that includes your mindset. Then we also talked about environment, maybe making sure that your situation at home or wherever you're going to be doing your work is set up to enhance your success. And then finally, just in short review, when you search for your people, it's important for you to be really specific. You're going to niche down to a specific individual, knowing what their demographic is, their age, their income, their lifestyle. You're going to know their psychographics. That is, how are they thinking? What are their belief systems? All that is important in understanding your people. And then their behaviors. What do they do? Because you know what? Let me tell you, if you miss that piece, finding your audience is going to be really challenging because you won't have the right message. And all of this little research you're doing up front is only setting you up for greater success later, so you can find the people that you want to find. So, my friends, this is it for today. This is Dr. Gwen, skyrocketing your business profits from the inside out and transforming your life to be powerful and gratifying. Love you guys.